they have just given the word to fire the engines.
All right.
How about that?
All right, here we go.
Let's see, 4 hours and 17 minutes after we were supposed to start this race, we're going to try and restart it. We got 4 laps in under the caution and green flags earlier before the bottom fell out and the rain started again and they stopped the race. And so far, there have been no lead changes because nothing's happened but riding around behind the pace car. What this must do to the drivers and the crews, having sat around all day, and now they've got to get pumped up again and they've got to go racing. They've got to get their thought process back on the game.
And I always had problems with that on the rain out, because you come in here on a Thursday or Friday, you start that adrenaline flowing, you start getting ready, get the mindset to run the race, and then the race starts and it's over, you start winding down. When it rained, anytime you had some kind of halt like this, it was always a problem for me.
Spotters are ready up here on top of the tower. Fans are ready. I'll tell you, the fans that are still here, they've come in and out of their seats about 5 times today. Between rainstorms and different things, they went back to their cars, came back in, went back to their campers, came back in. Certainly the weather has hurt the crowd here today in terms of keeping the numbers down, but the people who are here have stuck it out all day.
And we'll see, once they fire these engines up and the fans in the outside hear these engines, they'll be back. A lot more people will be back inside to watch this NASCAR Busch Series.
Unbelievable. You know, Benny, you talked about having trouble getting back into that mindset. These teams, Wally, too, you know, they've been sitting around talking, watching TV, watching us, whatever they've been doing all afternoon.
Watching our pit guys make fools of themselves.
Yeah, that too, which they're very good at, by the way. And now they've got to come back and get that whole process they had going 4 hours ago. Here's what we're thinking on tires. Here's what we're thinking on fuel. Here's what, you know, here's what our game plan is for the day.
Yeah, I think it's actually probably, for the drivers, it's probably the most calm they're going to ever start a race, because you know, they just want to get it over with, but it's been a long day. And now for the crew guys, though, they still got to bust off some pretty good pit stops. So I think it's going to be real tough on them.
And will this race run to its scheduled distance is another question. We are dry now, as you see the starting grid come across the bottom of the screen. We're dry now, but there is more rain on the radar. This might be a race to lap 74, which is the halfway point, instead of 147, which is the scheduled conclusion.
And we talked about that at the opening, which was about 8 or 9 hours ago, that,
yeah,
that these guys were going to be watching the, watching the weather map, because, if a yellow comes out or it's time to pit, some guys may just stay out, hoping that rain does come. But we have to get half of it in. We have a call it.
74 is the magic number for it to become an official race, and then after that, every lap after that becomes a gamble where strategy is concerned. Obviously, NASCAR's goal is to run the thing to its full 200-mile conclusion tonight. We'll see. Qualifying rained out yesterday. The field lined up according to provisions of the NASCAR rulebook, so the top 35 are according to current owner points. That puts Greg Biffle and Jason Keller in the top 2 spots. Even though Biffle is lined up in the outside row, he is still the official pole sitter. He employed a little known but long-standing rule in the book to choose the outside lane for the start.
So I'm sure they'll run 2 or 3 laps to make sure that the racetrack is okay. The drivers give the okay to NASCAR that they feel like it's ready to go, and get all the equipment off the racetrack, and we'll be good to go.
And that would now be 5 laps complete in the race, by the way. They ran 4 behind the pace car under the green and yellow before. And they are counting these laps. It's the word we're getting from race control now. Apparently the plan to wipe out what they ran if they didn't go full green was if they didn't go full green today and had to start over again on Monday. Well, Marty's been released from the Big Red Trailer. You got something for us there, Marty?
I do indeed, and this could be a very good day for Kevin LePage, who starts 13th. He considers Darlington his best racetrack, and this place is tough, but Kevin loved this racetrack. When he first came here in 1994, rather, he got a lesson from Harry Gann about how to get around here. Ever since then, he's been very fast here. The car they're using today led the most laps at Pikes Peak, and they finished 5th with it. Matt?
Marty, Jimmy Spencer's been in position to win here at Darlington many times, but can never pull it off. His best finish here is 6th back in 1988. He told me moments ago before he rolled off the grid that it's very tough. He's lost his focus, his concentration, because you start the day with a routine, and now that routine has been hampered due to the rain. Now you've got to get that focus back, get that concentration back, and try to run 74 or 147 laps. He'd love to get a top 5. He told me he'd love to get a win here at the famed Lady in Black. Dave?
Matt, remember, these drivers have had no practice here this weekend. Ricky Hendrick really could have used some earlier this year when the series came here. He was injured from a wreck the week before at Las Vegas. However, their lead engineer at Hendrick Motorsports is Rex Stump. Rex went around to the Winston Cup team who practiced earlier today, and Rex got information from the 24, 25, and also from the 48 car, and passed that along to the crew chief of Ricky Hendrick and also Jack Sprague. Ricky told me moments ago the best thing he found out was in the area of shock absorbers. That's useful information from the Winston Cup side. Alan?
Dave, the starter, Kevin Moss, has just shown 3 fingers to the field. That is his indication that in 3 more pace laps, or in this case caution laps, we'll get a start or a restart, however you want to consider it today.
You were talking about Ricky Hendrick needing his practice. There's 5 guys here that have never raced or had a competitive lap at Darlington. So they could have
they're
used
about
a
to
little
get
practice.
there first. Yeah. So they're talking about getting officials with the crew chiefs of Jason Keller and Greg Biffle and getting their feedback on whether the track is ready to go or not. Their response to the 3-to-go signal is what they're looking for.
I think they're probably ready to go.
Did they ever ask your opinion?
Yes, a few times.
Really?
Then they stopped.
Came to realize it was unreliable information.
Yeah, it was not good information.
NASCAR's asking those guys. Let's ask them. Greg Biffle, Benny Parsons, you got any?
Hit him again.
Greg Biffle, Benny Parsons, you read me?
I read you loud and clear, Benny. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How's the racetrack?
It looks really good. It's better than it's been since we've been here. So I'm ready to go racing.
Well, fantastic. Good luck down in turn 1.
Thank you.
All right, we got the word. Track's okay.
2 to go is the signal now. Biffle and Keller locked up in that tight fight for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, just 78 points apart coming into the race.
And I talked about the battle down in turn 1, and it is kind of important because 5 points for leading the lap. And I think whoever is in front right there is going to get those first 5 points. Right now, Greg Biffle has the 5 points, but
Keller doesn't.
Keller doesn't, and he certainly wants to get them. So I think he's going to race Biffle pretty hard down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, because these laps are counting under the green flag, and Greg Biffle is the pole sitter, he has led all of the laps so far in the race, even though they've all been run behind the pace car.
And usually, the guy on the inside, that's the place you want to be when you're going into turn 1. The guy on the outside will usually let off the gas if there's a car beside you, because what happens when you go into turn 1, that lower car will slide up into the outside car. But because they're on new tires, Biffle thinks that he'll have the stick where he can get around it.
Plus, they will not be at 160, 70 miles per hour. They'll start in first or second gear after start-finish line, accelerate, and probably be down to 125, 30 miles per hour. And he probably feels like he might be able to run through there wide open at that speed.
4.5 hours after its scheduled start time, we're ready to see some green flag racing at Darlington. Well, we were. Pace car didn't come off. Did I miscount?
You miscounted, I believe. I think this is the one to go here.
This would be 1 to go? Okay. I was so anxious to get it going, I jumped the start.
See, now you understand why someone could get black flag.
Yeah.
Black flag there for jumping the start.
Well, you just
Black flag for just counting.
you'll just rub it in and not let me hear the end of it for about, say 6 months. That's all. All right, 1 lap to go this time. NASCAR, monitoring NASCAR communications, they are reminding the drivers to be patient, use their heads, and also that there will be a caution after they've raced 25 laps to allow the teams to come in, change tires, make chassis adjustments, and that kind of thing. And they're basically looking for a 25-lap run of the race to let everybody get settled in, regroup, and then go again for the balance.
And then you know that every team is hoping they'd love to go the rest of the way to the checkered flag till it rains or whatever. But I don't think they can go the rest of the way if it runs 147 laps.
No. Biffle and Keller, Sprague and Wimmer, Jeff Green and Scott Riggs. Jeff Green, a former winner. The big story will be Jeff Burton, starting back in 33rd spot, coming up through the field. Bright green car. There he is.
That's him right there.
Be watching him rocket through the traffic. Remember, he led all 147 laps of the race here back in March.
But this one car was running second with about 10 laps to go in the spring when he blew up. The yellow brake car.
Yep. So they'll be fun to watch here in these first 25 laps. Well, we'll see where they end up after the caution comes out at the end of the 25, if we get that far. Might be another yellow before that.
All right, now then.
As I was saying, 4.5 hours late, but absolutely better late than never. We're going to go racing at Darlington. Show me that green flag, please.
Green flag, green flag.
Outside lane. Greg Biffle getting the jump. Slides in front of Keller. I'd have never thought I'd have seen green flag racing today. Mike McLaughlin, Scott Riggs there, locked up for 6th and 7th place. And Biffle leads the first lap running the green.
See the 25 car, Bobby Hamilton Jr. going on the inside of Kenny Walsh, taking a spot away.
That'll be 8th place, Benny. I know this may sound like a foolish question to somebody like you, Wally, but are these guys being more careful right now?
I think they are. Maybe not so much careful. I think they're probably running hard because they know they may have a shorter race, but I just think everybody's a lot more relaxed just because of the ups and downs all day long. I just feel that when you've got all day and you're hanging around all day, you're just a lot more relaxed when you start a race this late.
Keller all over Biffle.
He is. He's trying to get those 5 points out of the way early as he possibly can.
But for now, Biffle hangs on. Behind them, Jeff Green's putting some pressure on Jack Sprague and slides by 4th place.
That 21 car looks like it fell in an inkwell, full of all different kinds of paint.
Did you know the story there?
No. All right, here we go. The 12 car, Curry Earnhardt.
These guys, Jeff Burton's up to 22nd now, and I've been watching him, and he's passed a lot of cars in the last couple laps.
Started 33rd.
And he's passed Jimmy Spencer.
Hey, if I was Spencer, I'd get behind that 9 car and follow him up through the traffic, too. That's probably a pretty smart thing.
Hank Parker Jr., Tim Sauter, the next 2 cars directly in front of Jeff Burton. Watch it closing rate. Look how he just closed up right on Tim Sauter.
And by. Leaders already have caught the tail end of the field. Some of those guys that have never driven at Darlington before, they're
looking in the mirror.
They're struggling with it right now. Here comes Burton on Hank Parker Jr. It's down the front stretch.
You see how Hank had to back out there? That's a smart thing to do because you just can't run side by side into one, especially after you got some laps on your tires.
And I'll tell you, these Busch drivers, Hank Parker Jr. and Casey Mears and all these guys, they're saying, how do these guys do it? How do they go through these corners so fast?
Keller, Wimmer, Jeff Green all putting some pressure on Greg Biffle, Matt.
Well, he's got pressure behind him, but he's also got some concern in front of him. His spotter, Joel Edmonds, encouraging Randy guys warned and then reminded again Greg Biffle about the slower cars that are in front because the closing rate is going to be so fast because the other cars are running so slow. You don't want to get caught up in another guy's misfortune and ruin your day.
And hopefully, and probably what Biffle's saying is, hey, tell those spotters I want to pass them on the high side. Or he'll try to tell the car that he's coming up on which side he wants to pass him on. So when he gets there, they'll move out of the way.
trouble. Turn 4. Dan Partis is spinning around.
And he saves the car. He almost saved it initially. Someone ran in the back of Partis going in turn 3, and Dan did a great job. Back and forth, but he finally had to go around.
So caution is out for, I guess, what would be the second time in the race. The first one was those first 9 laps run behind the pace car. This is yellow number 2 for Dan Partis, spinning in turn 3. We won't see anybody pit here, will we?
I don't think so, because there is going to be a pit after 25 laps of green flag racing.
Okay, then let's take a break. We are underway at Darlington. Can you believe it? Craig Biffle is the early leader.
It generates more power than ever before. It generates more heat than ever before. That's why today's harder working engine needs Castrol GTX, engineered for the best protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown of any leading oil. Castrol GTX, put it in.
The new TNN's Monday night is the most popular night on cable TV, with Star Trek The Next Generation and WWE Raw. And in September, Monday nights get hotter, with the first season of the #1 drama on TV, CSI, and Pamela Anderson's VIP. Monday nights on the new TNN.
You'll like it.
Your local Ford store is leading the way with the best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs. Come on and drive the difference. Ford Focus, with the most interior room in its class, plus superior handling, was named one of Car and Driver's 10 best and comes in 4 distinct models. Focus, the best-selling car in the world, now with $2,000 cash back. That's $2,000 cash. Drive the difference. Ford Focus with $2,000 cash back, only at your local Ford store. Still leading the way.
Today seems like everybody's getting back to nature. Nice to know some of us never left. Smooth and refreshing as a mountain stream. Busch. Head for the mountains of Busch.
When I go to the track or a show, I have a lot to bring along. This all-aluminum Featherlight trailer is the perfect answer. It not only gives my car a sturdy ride, there's also tons of great storage. It's perfect for spare parts, tools. It's like having my garage on wheels. Hey guys, how am I supposed to get my car in here? Keep your car safe with an affordable Featherlight trailer. Call 800-800-1230 for the dealer nearest you.
The most dramatic show on television takes over TNT.
You knew what you did was wrong? That you had committed murder?
It all starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Only on TNT. We know drama.
1 to go signal being shown here at Darlington. Caution out for the second time in the Gatorade 200 after Dan Partis got spun around in turn 3.
Let's see what happened with Mr. Partis. Here you see Mr. Harmon behind Mr. Partis, and well, when you pick the rear wheels up off the racetrack BP, you lose grip.
Yes, and he did a good job. Back and forth. He's, okay, guys, say, no, okay, yeah, guys, no, I got to go around. And fortunately for those two guys, Harmon and Ashton Lewis, he goes down on the apron of the racetrack.
Another look.
But those tires are shot. He just took off about 50 laps of the life of those tires.
Oh, yes.
He's been on pit road along with Jimmy Kitchens and Curtis Davis and Shane Meal and Chad Chaffin, Larry Foyt. They've all pitted under this caution, but the front runners did not. Shane Meal looked like he's picked up a Darlington stripe already on that 47 car.
Which now they'll start at the front if they want, right? They don't have to pull in the pits on this 25-lap race.
Right.
So that might have been a pretty good move for him.
Still expecting a NASCAR caution. Scheduled after 25 laps of racing. We went racing at lap number 9, so
really is strange seeing a bare car out there up front in third spot. Scott Wimmer, 27 car. No sponsorship as we see Sprague, and there's the black car about to lose a spot with Jeff Green, but Bill Davis, the owner of this 27 car, was so impressed with the job that Scott Wimmer was doing, and Booty Barker, the crew chief, they said, I just can't pull them off the racetrack right now. They're just a few points out of third place in the Busch Series point standings. I gotta let them race.
And now not only have they let him race the rest of this season, but they've signed a contract extension for him, and they're going to run him for the Busch Series championship for next year.
How about that? Almost. There was some contact between the 10 of Scott Riggs and Bobby Hamilton Jr., and Hamilton Jr. passed Riggs on the outside in 1 and 2. Very courageous move.
Riggs started 6th. He's lost a couple of spots since the green, Dave.
And he radioed into his crew, Alan, that he was hitting the rev limiter chip halfway down the straightaway. Worse on the backstretch, of course, where he's quicker. I just checked with Harold Howley, his crew chief. He doesn't believe they have the wrong gear in there. But as Scott wears out the tires and as his lap times slow down, he's going to chip out a little bit further down, and they hope that that gear is correct for today.
Well, halfway down the backstretch is pretty early.
Here's Todd Bodine picking up a spot on Randy LaJoie. That would be 8th. Check that, 9th place. Todd in the 92.
Oh, and Todd almost gets the back end of the wall off turn 2. If he didn't get the back end of the wall.
Black flag for Chad Chaffin in the 16. Believe he's got... What do I hear? He has something hanging off the car or something they want to get looked at. Marty, what's going on there?
They've been having a problem with oil coming out of the breather, Alan, since the race started, and they've made 2 pit stops, and they're going to come down pit road again now, obviously answering the black flag, but dropping a little bit of oil on the racetrack. So what Chad Chaffin has been doing since the start of the race.
Shaking that fist out the window.
He's got some smoke, obviously, now.
Shaking that fist out the window as you go by the start-finish line isn't going to accomplish a whole lot either. So we'll see that 16 in on pit road here shortly. Ford car Phil Bonifield has been retired from the race with handling troubles. They are about to bring Bill Hoff's car onto pit road and send him to the garage. He is not meeting the minimum speed required here at Darlington.
And he's one of those guys who's never raced here before.
Right. Tough thing to come here and, you know. Leader Greg Biffle coming up on the back of the Brian Weber car. Put him a lap down in the 84 machine.
Boy, and I tell you, the 57 of Keller got a terrific run off turn 2, but not good enough to go up and challenge Biffle for the lead.
By the way, that caution's going to come out at lap 35. So how's Jeff Burton doing?
Well, he's passing cars.
There's Jeff in the 9. He just picked up 15th place from Kevin LePage. Is he going to get 14th from Tony Raines there?
He wisely decided not to do that. Marty, what did he say him down in the 9 pit?
Kind of funny, BP, you got it right. He's passing cars, and Brad Parrott, his crew chief, asked him, how is the car into that last caution? He said, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to it. I've just been trying to pass people. He said, I promise I'll pay attention during this run, and I'll let you know when we do get the mandated caution at lap 35.
Well, if he's got no complaints, it's pretty good.
Oh, he's got a great run now on Raines. Takes a spot away.
So that'll put him up to 14th place. Next up, the 59 car, Stacy Compton. And Ron Hornaday and Kenny Wallace. This is for 8th place. Todd Bodine trying to get it away from Scott Riggs. Bodine in the 92, Riggs in the yellow 10.
And Scott will back off wisely and let the 92 drift on down into the corner, turn 1.
Todd started in 12th place. And Jeff Burton. Chalk another one up. Spencer wasn't able to stay with him.
No, he wasn't. Tony Raines trying to get on the inside of the 59 car. Careful, boys.
next in the Dr. Pepper car.
Now Tony can stay there. He's in the spot that you want to be going into turn 1.
Trouble, turn 4. Caution is out. It's Kerry Earnhardt spinning around down on the wet part of the racetrack. And he's obviously caught a good piece of the outside wall.
Looks like there's another car involved there, too.
I thought there looked like another car, the
side car of Ricky Hendrick.
Yeah, we can see the damage to the left rear, and there's the damage to the right front on Ricky Hendrick's car. So that's when the two ends met.
Yeah.
So caution out again, and this one will count. This is the caution that teams better use to check the tires and all that, because it's close enough to where they were going to throw it. So here it is. We'll see everybody on pit road. And getting on to pit road here at Darlington this might be the most difficult entrance to pit road on the circuit.
It's not under the caution flag, but under the green flag conditions, yes, it is without a doubt, because you can miss the entrance to pit road so easily.
So Jeff Burton made it up to 12th spot here.
Up here is where all the cars will enter the pits. And under green flag conditions, you can't see where you're going because you're on a 23-degree banking. But as I said, under the caution flag at 45, 50 miles per hour, it's no problem. And here they all come.
And look how far away that entrance to pit road is from that banking where you run. And that's still a little bit damp, too. Got a little bottleneck at the bottom end of pit road there. What's going on? Somebody missed their pit? Something happened to Hornaday's car when he came onto pit road. Marty?
Scott Wimmer is in, and he is tight off of the corner, Alan. They're going to go up 3 rounds on that track bar. That's a pretty big adjustment. They also make an air pressure adjustment on the right front tire for Wimmer, having a nice run so far. Dave?
Jason Keller's words, not bad, but just a little tight through the center of the corner. They're going to make an air pressure to adjust for that. Jason's been happy with the car. Matt?
Scott Gertz already coming around to the left front tire. Greg Biffle hits the first stall here on pit road as the leader. He said his car was loose in the center. The one car is going to beat him off pit road. Car a little loose in the center, a little loose off. He called for an air pressure adjustment to tighten that race car up.
Wow.
Little strategy call there on Spencer's gang.
How many spots Jim Burton's guys picked them up?
You know that Spencer had to change 2 tires, and why in the world you would do that at Darlington is beyond me.
Follow up with Spencer's crew. Also figure out what happened to Ron Hornaday. Something broke on his car when he came to pit road and caused a whole big bottleneck behind him. So follow-ups from the pit lane in a moment. Right now, the new leader is Jimmy Spencer here at Darlington.
If you think the way we race is tough on parts, you should see the way we celebrate. So it should come as no surprise that our parts will stand up in whatever you drive as well. Look for the locations that feature AC Delco. When the right way is the only way.
Every day is a race. When that checkered flag waves, will you look in the mirror and say with all honesty, today I lived my best life? For nearly 70 years, General Nutrition Centers has helped millions of families go full throttle. Fuel up now with their best-selling multivitamins, Mega Men and Women's Ultra Mega. Live well, race fans, with GNC, the official vitamin store of NASCAR.
Honey, can you help me clean? They're your parents. The game's tied. Tell you what, when you've used up this one sheet of Brawny, you will quit cleaning. Really? Excellent.
Brawny has scrubbing circles for scrubbing strength. And Brawny's tight weave construction means you'll have to stop scrubbing long before Brawny does.
Honey, what kind of paper towel is this? Brawny, dear.
Brawny, it might be too strong. Try Brawny Premium Napkins. They're softer and stronger than the leading everyday napkin.
16 countries want the title. Only one will take it home. See the United States best battle the rest of the world in the 2002 World Basketball Championship. The drama continues tonight at 9 when the U.S. takes on China, only on TNT.
goes to Iverson. Right side, Iverson falls down. Gets back on his feet. Dribbles behind his back away from Kenny Anderson. Three left side is good. Unbelievable shot by Allen Iverson.
A timeless battle. Blade. A new enemy. An action-packed DVD.
So exciting.
The Army of the Night is now fully armed with scenes that reveal the secret.
They'll take us in deeper than we've ever been.
Thrilling documentaries. A Word with Blade and more. Wesley Snipes.
Not know who you are messing with!
Blade 2. A new battle rages on a 2-disc Platinum Series DVD.
Get your data.
Tomorrow on TNT, it's the Mountain Dew Southern 500 from Darlington. It's 53rd running, coverage at 12:30 Eastern Time. Marty, how about the strategy on Jimmy Spencer's team?
Johnny Allen's the crew chief. You did what at Darlington and why?
Oh, we decided we'd give the 5 bonus points for leading here. I mean, no, really. Pit road's wet here, and there was a car sitting in the pits behind us, and Jimmy missed the pits, and so we decided to go on back out, and we'll get the next caution. I mean, it's Darlington, like you said, and there'll be another caution pretty quick.
You don't expect him to stay there long.
We'll hold him off as long as we can, but we'll see.
I expect a lot of blocking. After all, Jimmy Spencer said he's taken no prisoners, right? Green flag on the racetrack in just about 2 seconds.
So he missed his pit and just kept on going through.
Now, I don't think blocking is going to help him.
No. Jimmy was 17th, but now he's got on old tires. But all these guys chasing him have got fresh ones at Darlington. Can you say sitting duck?
Yeah.
Ron Hornaday sits on pit road as we go back to green. We'll check on him in a minute. Ricky Hendrick is also on the pit lane as we go back racing. Greg Biffle is second. Jason Keller third. Jeff Green fourth. Mike McLaughlin fifth. Jeff Burton is up to eighth after his stop. His crew got him 4 places on pit road.
And here comes Biffle for the lead. Oh, couldn't quite do it.
Big bump there when he tried to get back behind him?
I don't think so. He just lost the windshield tear off, though. Getting in about another lap or 2 before these guys get the pressures where they need to be, and then he'll go sailing by, maybe even sooner.
Nice way to cover yourself there.
You always have to do that. Always have to cover yourself.
For now, they're bottled up behind Biffle, and here comes Jeff Green. He's tired of waiting.
Moves into that 3rd spot.
I'll tell you, that 21 has been so impressive this year with Jeff Green behind the wheel. They've got 9 top 5 finishes in 13 races this season.
And I'll tell you what, Jeff Green right now is looked to be much better than Greg Biffle.
All right, Ron Hornaday was on pit road when we went back racing. Dave, now he's behind the wall.
When the yellow came out, Alan, he came onto pit road. The car backfired 3 times. He had to stop at the end of pit road because he had no power. They pushed it to the pit, discovered they had an electrical problem. They defined it down to the distributor. They're going to push it behind the wall and change it.
Look at this, 2nd place. Jeff Green to the outside of Greg Biffle.
And he's going to take that spot away and down. Well,
I don't know.
A little too quick. A little quick on the call there, wasn't I?
We got it.
And here comes Jeff Burton in the 9.
Look at that car go. Biffle looks to be really, to me, looks to be struggling in that 60 car right now.
Yeah, it kind of seems like he's had him bottled up behind him, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Because here's a battle for the lead.
Jeff Green. Remember, Spencer's still on the tires he started the race on. At Darlington, that's a big, big disadvantage. He's hung in there longer than I thought he would. But this would be take no prisoners racing from Jimmy Spencer.
He drove it in the outside of 1, too, on those older tires.
Coming up on the back end of Larry Gunselman's car, the 94, one of those guys who's never raced here before.
All right, Jimmy.
This is going to get dicey.
Oh, you're going. Oh, man, oh, man.
Jeff Burton
moves into the 3rd spot.
3 wide.
One of the guys that have never run at this place here, that 94 car, Larry Gunselman.
turn two's a little narrow with somebody. Oh, and some contact looked like between Scott Riggs and 33 of Tony Rain.
The 94 is being black flagged. Not meeting the minimum speed. And not being where he's supposed to be on the racetrack, I believe. Tough day for these guys with no experience and no practice here. All right, Greg Biffle after Spencer for third. Jeff Green went through to the lead. Jeff Burton went to second.
Oh, someone almost pinned it. Brian Weber almost pinned it on the entrance to pit road we talked about. And here's the battle for the lead.
Well, that didn't take long. 44 laps for Jeff Burton to get from 33rd to first.
How many was run under the caution? 12 or 16?
Yep, 16.
Huh.
So Jeff Burton, after leading all 147 laps in the March Busch race here at Darlington, needed only 43 to march to the lead in the Gatorade 200.
New 5-star denim from Wrangler. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Introducing the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. A whole new way to paint. One touch lets you control the paint. The exclusive smooth flow system makes painting neat, quick, easy. The amazing Wagner Quick Touch. For professional results, fast. The Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. A faster way to paint.
Skip Barber, Formula One racer, founder of one of America's best racing schools. He knows performance. He lives it. He also knows Quaker State oils are formulated for fine-tuned performance in different engines, like Quaker State Full Synthetic, fine-tuned for advanced engines, for superior protection against harmful deposits, and at extreme high temperatures.
Hey, it's been working for me.
For performance you can count on, Quaker State. Stay tuned.
The most dramatic show on television takes over TNT.
You knew what you did was wrong? That you had committed murder?
It all starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Only on TNT. We know drama.
Scully?
Applebee's has riblets. All that you can eat now, riblets.
Hurry into Applebee's, because even though the riblets never end, this offer does.
Nature made it. Minwax makes it beautiful with rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
Tonight, it's the drama of basketball on TNT. Reggie Miller and Team USA take on China in the World Championships of Basketball. 9 p.m. Eastern, it starts live from Indianapolis tonight on TNT. Jeff Burton is the leader and has quickly put a big gap between himself and second place Jeff Green. 1.9 seconds. Way back to second place.
And Jason Keller, the 57 car, has gotten by Biffle, closed up right on the back of the 21 of Jeff Green.
Biffle back to fourth. Now Jimmy Spencer out there on those older tires. Well, he's got his hands full.
Yeah, he had that thing sideways forever. He made a great save. Watch this. See Bobby Hamilton Jr. just get into the back of him right here in between 1 and 2.
It looked like the 23 of Scott Wimmer was going to get on the back of the 25 car.
So So Hamilton Jr. went by into 7th. Wimmer went by into 8th. Tony Raines, Scott Riggs, and Stacy Compton have all passed Jimmy Spencer. And again, older tires. He's fallen back. All these guys that are passing him have got fresher tires than Jimmy does because he missed his pit stall when they came in back at lap number 20. What was that? Back at 32, I'm sorry.
Kenny Wallace looks back at Casey Mears and the 66 car as they come off turn 2.
After all the rain, those cameras and everything have soaked up today. It's amazing. They're still getting the job done. Well, we talked about Spencer having troubles on his pit stop, Dave. How about some others?
Well, the 92 car of Todd Bodine had a flat tire before the caution came out, so that was very good for him. This is what the tire looked like when it came off. Of course, he lost time because that he was battling for 8th. As for Kenny Wallace, his guys were changing tires when the keeper spring inside the socket on the gun got caught up in a lug nut. This is the actual spring from the gun, and you can see by the time they ripped it out, it was all messed up. That cost some valuable time on pit road.
Well, that spring is supposed to kick those lug nuts out of the socket, but obviously when the socket gets tangled up with the spring, it's not going anyplace.
Kenny Wallace running 12th, Todd Bodine 17th now, both on the lead lap. Going to be a lot of guys who will not be able to say they're on the lead lap when Jeff Burton gets done as we watch Jimmy Spencer continue to struggle. There's Casey Mears working him over. It's 13th place, and now Kevin LePage in the 37th will be next up on the Fresh Tire Express.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy is just hanging on. There's nothing he can do right now. He's just sliding all over the place, and he's not going to be too hard to pass right now with the cars that do have the fresher tires.
Dan Pardes has taken his car to the garage. He is out with engine failure. The 52 car, Brad Teague, has also been retired with engine failure. 3 seconds now, the gap from first to second. New second place runner, Jason Keller, is around Jeff Green.
Might be a little bit faster than Jeff Burton right now.
Checking the score monitor the last time by, Keller was a tick faster than Jeff Burton.
Jeff trying to win 3 straight Busch Series races here at Darlington, trying to become only the second driver to accomplish the feat. The last 2 races here, there were 294 laps total. Jeff Burton led 223 of 294. Pretty impressive. Keller is winning the battle of the Busch Series championship contenders today. He's running second. Bickle is back in 4th.
That's Derek Cope in that red car that Jeff Burton just went by. All right, let's check it out. First 3 cars right now, the top 3 speeds.
Yeah, I didn't think there'd be much question that Burton was the fastest guy. His laps have been on average 0.2 of a second faster than the second place car. That'll gain you a lot of time.
Yes.
He goes by Johnny Sauter, the 2 car, the AC Delco car, the winner Chicago.
26th place, now a lap down.
And Jimmy Spencer, the 1 car, has worked his way back to 17th. There he is.
And if he doesn't get a caution soon, he's less than a straightaway from being caught by leader Jeff Burton. So missing that pit stall could turn out to be a really, really bad deal for Jimmy Spencer. 58 laps complete. We're closing in on halfway. Can you believe it? You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Nothing outperforms new Mobile One. Log on to our website and learn more about new Mobile One with Super Sin anti-wear technology.
Teddy! Door's locked! 10:38!
Who
Our
is
appointment
it?
to put you to sleep? Remember?
It's the counting sheep. Didn't you tell him we got a Serta?
Did she say Serta?
Yeah, it's so comfortable, we don't need you anymore.
Hey, keep it down over there! I can't sleep a wink! All right.
That guy needs us.
You'll feel the difference the moment you lie down. Serta, we make the world's best mattress.
And what did you do this weekend?
I called this girl, but the line was busy.
Gary? Matt?
I went to Wendy's for lunch. Well, I see the hamburgers on TV and they look good. I ordered a classic double with cheese. Call me crazy, but I think they made it just for me. Hot, juicy, it tasted great. And when I finished, I felt good. And I liked that feeling.
Bravo!
Sure. Wendy's Classic Double with cheese. And now Wendy's pickup window is open late so you can eat great even late.
Got the afternoon? Great. Got the whole weekend? Even better.
They're bunching up. Watch them.
Get Track Pass and get it all. To get yours, just log on to America Online. Keyword NASCAR.
Hey, are you ever going to mow the lawn?
Where does the weekend go? NASCAR.com. Always on. America Online keyword NASCAR.
Nothing outperforms new Mobile One. Log on to our website and learn more about new Mobile One with Super Sin anti-wear technology.
NASCAR on TNT is live in Darlington, South Carolina. It's Southern 500 weekend, and despite a 4.5-hour delay by rain, you are looking live at the NASCAR Busch Series Gatorade 200. Never would have thought with the weather conditions that have been swirling around here today, but this race is 10 laps from being official.
It's pretty cool how that gas can fill that NASCAR logo up as Todd Bodine goes a lap down to Jeff Burton.
Boy, he is just flying.
Oh, man.
Jeff Burton started in 33rd, worked his way up to 12th by a caution at lap 32, took 4 tires, picked up 4 spots on pit road, then powered his way from 8th up to the lead by lap 43.
And he's not too far behind Jimmy Spencer. There he is right there. That's what the difference on tires is right there.
Spencer missed his pit stall on the caution stops at lap 32, went back out, restarted first. Right now he's back in 20th place.
Make that 21st, I think. Jamie McMurray just went by him.
Yeah, I think it's 22nd. And he's about to go a lap down.
And now he'll come into the pits. Give me tires.
As soon as he can make it the rest of the way, which is probably not too soon.
I don't know. I think I agree with Wally there, VP. I'd be heading for pit road right now and counting on the fact
got a car in a wall up there in turn 2.
No, never mind. Caution's out.
Now see if he gets his lap back. Yep. Jimmy Spencer did go by.
Jeff Burton slowed down and let him by.
Yeah.
Here they come back to the caution. Shane Hall, Todd Bodine. Ooh.
And we've knocked the fuel pump off the 27 car, and probably they've broken the gasoline line, so and the gasoline is back on the exhaust system, and we have a fire.
What's that song? Give me fuel, give me fire.
Yeah.
Come on, Alan.
Give me that which I desire.
There you go.
Jamie McMurray does not desire this now. Is that in the car?
That's our camera. It's our onboard camera.
That's the bumper camera.
Yes.
Okay.
That used to be a bumper camera.
He's out of the car.
Hey, he's saving the bumper camera.
All right, that was the camera on the back bumper. I didn't think he'd still be pulling that thing to pit road if that was what it was like in the car. He'd have been getting out of there.
See, with all that safety stuff, you can still get out of the car pretty fast when you're on fire.
When you need to. Whoa!
We have a plane.
Now that's what it's like inside the car. Still coming out.
Still coming out of there. Okay, let's see if it's going to catch. Oh, yep. More flames. Give me more stuff there, boys. There you go. All right, let's watch again. Stand back. Let's see what we got here. Okay, is it all right? Looks like we might have it out this time.
Boy. So what happened to Jamie McMurray that made that big mess?
Well, I don't know. He's going down in turn 1, and the right front tire goes flat.
knocked the fuel pump off, BP?
I think, yeah, when he made contact with the wall, he's knocked the fuel pump off and broken the oil, the gasoline line, and
that was the second hit, though. This is the first one. That's the first hit coming off of 2. Then he went down into 3. The right front went down and he hit the wall and came to rest on the entrance of pit road.
wait a minute.
Now listen, yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, okay, now I understand, yes.
So, what have we learned there?
When you hit the wall off turn 2, slow down.
You're going to hit it again harder in turn 3.
Exactly.
Guys,
what?
I got bad news. Good news, Jamie's okay. Out of that. Bad news.
What's that?
It's raining.
Really?
There's some raindrops peppering the windshield of the pace car in our broadcast booth. Marty, go ahead.
Well, Jimmy McMurray living proof you're okay. What in the world happened?
I just trying to set hit leader there. I could see he was coming and got a little bit hard up here and, got into the wall and it just kind of sucked me up in there and tried to stay going, and I guess I knocked the right front tire down or something and got it here in just one turn. So, bad day for us. We struggled from the get-go, and we struggled here in the spring and tried to put a different setup in it, but really wasn't much better. So, maybe they can get it fixed. We can get back out and run some laps, but tough weekend for the Williams Travel Center team.
Yeah, bad end to a long weekend for these guys.
I got some bad news for you. Go ahead, BP.
If you can chase him down, tell him, forget about it. Change clothes and go home. They're not going to fix that one.
Yeah, no. I think he knows that, BP.
Okay.
He'll be informed of that when it went by.
Pit road has been closed because of where McMurray's car sat and the firefighting effort on it. So now it's going to be open this time. See the raindrops peppering the camera lens there.
Who's going to pit? I mean,
Spencer.
Dave? Are these guys going to pit?
Well, this is the discussion right here. Greg Pollock's car owner of the 57, of course, Steve Addington, crew chief, and then Jason on the track talking to them. And the pit road just opened. We'll see what they do. They're all discussing it back and forth. Greg Pollock's the owner, has been down to the radar. He's seen what's coming.
What do you mean no when I said Spencer? Of course he's going to pit. He's next to, he's third from the end of the lead. He's 20th out of 22 on the lead lap. What's he got to lose by stopping to take tires here?
Well, if everybody else stops, then I would stay out. You got 5 laps before halfway.
Yeah, we're 5 laps to halfway. If I'm Jeff Burton and I see raindrops on my windshield, I'm not coming in.
All right, let's see. He's not coming in. Burton is not coming in. Who's the first car in the pit? Biffle thought about it. Nah, he's going to stay on the racetrack.
It's going to be Spencer. He's a Winston Cup guy. He doesn't care about points. If the race rains out and he finishes 22nd, what's he care?
Well, now you would come in if you watched everybody else stay out. Did he come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he saw nobody else was going to. But if these guys would have pitted, he would have stayed out.
Yeah, but they weren't going to stop. Not with rain peppering the windshield and being 5 laps from halfway.
Okay.
So now the shoe's going to be on the other foot, so to speak, for Spencer. He's going to have fresh tires, and if we go back racing shortly, all these other guys have got older tires, Marty.
Yeah, and he successfully negotiates his way in this time. Jeff Burton was going to come down pit road as Jimmy Spencer makes the adjustment on the right side there. Jeff Burton was going to come down pit road until turn 3. They decided to stay out. Jeff Green also was going to come down pit road, but these guys all decided to stay out. Jimmy Spencer, however, does come down pit road, and he really needed those tires. They add some tape to the front of the grill as well and pull out the valence just a little bit also.
Tim Sauter has been in. Casey Kane has been on pit road under the caution also. We are under yellow. Jeff Burton is the leader here at Darlington. We'll be back.
Before you go back to school, go to America Online.
It's the ultimate school supply.
Our whole family uses AOL.
AOL saves me a lot of time and money.
You can get help with your homework.
I got help on my science project. Encyclopedias and dictionaries.
I can keep in touch with my friends when I go away to school.
You've got mail.
I can even buy my kids' school clothes on AOL.
America Online has everything your family needs to start school and throughout the year. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE or pick up a free AOL startup disc at these stores.
At Midas, all we think about is auto care. In fact, recently, I had an idea for a kids show, a way to get kids excited about our business.
Wave hello to Mr. AC.
Hi, Mr. AC. Mr. AC is very cold. The compressor pressurizes the... We're still tweaking it.
Midas, we do that.
So, Kenny, how'd you shave those seconds off your pit stops?
You know, Elliot, once the boys got rid of those spare tires, we used a stack or two.
The seconds just dropped, man. Check it out.
Elliot, nothing burns fat and supercharges your energy level like the world's strongest fat burner. Hey, and speaking of strong, check my new Jackman out.
You guys call that a pit stop? One more time with feeling.
Nothing's faster than Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner.
Need a hand?
NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Darlington on TNT is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Midas. Come to Midas for everything you need in total car care. Midas, we do that. By Serta. You'll feel the difference the moment you lie down. Serta, we make the world's best mattress. And by Mobile One. The more you know about new Mobile One, the better it is for your car. Under the caution flag here at Darlington, the yellow for Jamie McMurray's accident and fire from turn 2 all the way down the backstretch to the entrance of pit road. And now some raindrops falling on the windshield of the car, and there's a lot of debate back and forth, or discussion, I should say, between David Hoots, the race director in NASCAR Control, and Dennis Dillard, who's driving that pace car out on the racetrack. Is it too wet to put him on one to go? Are we losing the racetrack? What's going on here?
Oh, we're losing the racetrack.
The original thought was they were going to put him on one to go. Then Dennis called back in and said, no, it's coming down a little harder. We better not.
Well, let's think about it in 2 more laps. Then we'll have more discussion.
Well, we're coming to lap 73, and halfway of this race is 74. And after halfway, it is an official race. But, yeah, that's not the object. I mean, you know, the object is to run the race to its scheduled distance.
To run 200 miles, exactly right.
Yeah, but it's also the object to be realistic. And every one of these guys driving these race cars right now want to make sure that they get past or get to lap 74. They don't want to come back here on Monday.
Marty?
Well, let's talk to Brad Parrott. I know what his answer is going to be, and I know what your answer is going to be, but why is it fair that they could call it or not call it right now, that they would not call it and run the rest of them under caution?
Well, you know, that's NASCAR's call. They can do what they want to. The fastest cars on the racetrack now, the Gain Ford, the pit crew did awesome with their pit stop today, gained 5 spots. You know, unless they stop it before we get back now, it'll be halfway. That's 73 laps there. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see, and, you know, like I said, it's about 1-800 Duke Kids. That's what it's about today. And we're going to go for that next week in Richmond with 17-second pit stops. And, again, pretty green and pretty orange cars out front again and looking good.
All right, and that was Jeff Burton's point, is that it's fair that they would finish now under caution even if it does rain, because he feels like the fastest car's out in front right now and leading the race.
And it wouldn't be the first time he's won when it rained.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's good at it here.
He's had a lot of success at doing that.
And there's no doubt that he is the fastest car here today. But the distance was 500 miles.
200.
200 miles, I'm
yes,
sorry.
Please.
Yeah, and Jeff Burton and I talked today during a rain show, and I told him that I have the BP challenge. If they make a pit stop under 13 seconds, they get $700. And he sweet-talked me out of another $700, $1,400, and he agreed to match that. So if these guys at Richmond can make a pit stop under 13 seconds, that's $2,800 to the Duke Hospital for Kids. Where's Dennis going?
That's what I was wondering. They're going to bring the field down and stop them short of the start-finish line. So the race is not an official race yet.
Wow.
This was Jeff Burton talking to his team a moment ago.
I ain't believing this. They're going to stop the race with 2 laps to go before halfway. Come on now, Hoots. What's wrong, man? We got Labor Day on Monday. And the fastest car on the racetrack is leading the race. It's the way we race here.
That's Brad Parrott talking.
Now, like I said, they want to get this race over.
On the other side of the coin, the fans in the grandstand today paid to see a 200-mile race.
For rain, they have to cross the start-finish line, okay, Jeff? And that'll be 74 laps.
And so the red flag is out. You know, they paid to see a 200-mile race.
To go past the start and finish line under red.
And they owe them the effort to try and get it to the distance. Now, do I think that they're going to come back on Monday and pick this race up where it is now? No. My opinion is if it keeps raining, that you know, they're going to try and dry the track, and they must believe they can get this thing going again before dark.
Well, it's pretty dark now, and good thing we don't really listen to your opinion.
We'll see. You remember the race at Pocono BP, Winston Cup race, about, what, 1986, where it started raining, and they ran about 5-6 laps behind the pace car to get to halfway and then canceled the race for the day? Yeah. What a storm that was from the fans.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wally talked about it just a moment ago, and it was here in the NASCAR Winston Cup that Jeff Burton parked his car, and I guess they're trying to get these cars off the racetrack.
There's a little test of wills here. The pace car driver's trying to go drive around the racetrack and check the track conditions, and Burton's trying to nudge his way over the start-finish line and make it halfway.
I wonder if he just went and crossed the start-finish line, stopped there. What would happen?
I'll bet there'd be a black flag involved somewhere.
And what would it say in the rule book about that?
David, I'll buy you dinner.
Oh, me. But anyway.
Where's he going to buy him dinner, though?
Oh.
In that NASCAR Winston Cup race, Burton jumped out of his car and begged it to rain. Please, rain. Come on, rain.
Yeah. Jeff Burton, the Rain Man, here at Darlington. He's had a lot of success in rain-shortened events. He may have more success today. Yet to be determined. He's about, what would you say that is, about 100 yards shy of the start-finish line?
Yeah, a little bit more than that, but that's close enough.
So he's the length of a football field for making this an official race.
Well, here's the line, the start-finish line.
Yep.
And pace car just going across it.
That's Brad Parrott, his crew chief. Where's he going?
He's going to look at the radar, and I know what it's going to look like. Green.
And green does not mean go.
Green means wet.
Oh, he's not going to look at the radar. He's going to lobby somebody.
He's going to go outside. We should take a look at the radar. But get somebody that knows how to read a map and direction, which would not be Marty.
Yeah. It's all rain. And yellow and red is going to be here in about 10 minutes.
There you go.
The great debate. We should have some Jeopardy music playing.
See that? He said that in like 5 words. Marty has tried to give us a weather report for hours and hasn't gotten it right.
Okay, Marty, we'll give you one more chance to redeem yourself.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Oh, you got to be kidding me. It just went away. Well, they'll pull it up in a minute, but it doesn't look good. I'll tell you that we're in the middle of this, and it's a lot of green and red and yellow around us, but now it's all black, Wally.
We're in the middle of what?
I can't help you
Explain
out.
that.
The rain, but I can't show you because they are pulling up a new radar, and it doesn't look good. But Brad Parrott's assessment was right. It is raining everywhere around us, and it does not look good. The yellow and red stuff is on its way. And I would talk for longer, but it's going to take a minute to pull up this next radar. So I'll tell you what, Wally, the next radar comes up, I'll let you know, and then I'll give you another report.
All right, let's get around.
Was that 6 words?
So we can do a little bit better job. Okay, this is coming from the south.
There's Florence.
Right
Circle
here.
that, please. There you go.
Okay, this stuff along here, very heavy rain, dangerously heavy, which means we're pretty much done.
And it's going that way.
Correct. So we're pretty much looking at a official call one way or another here.
Guys, while we're sitting here, I need to make sure nobody goes over the wall without their helmet on. All
Dave?
helmets and gloves only over the wall.
Is it raining down there?
Over the wall to drive the pit.
I'm getting some interference here. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but what I was going to say on the weather, even though you're watching what's going up and coming down, the moon is coming up over the track here somewhere. It's getting dark out here, guys. That's probably going to be our biggest problem. Blame it on the moon.
Dave.
The moon?
The moon.
Dave.
They've been in the rain too long today.
Yeah, it's been way too wet down there on Dave's day.
Okay, what I'm hearing from
raining now, isn't it?
what I'm hearing from race control is, if they don't get this track dry and we don't restart tonight, we pick up at lap 74 Monday.
Is that right?
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see if any of that green and yellow and red gets here, or if they can get enough dryness into this track to.
And we'll make sure we have plenty of driver interviews for you, folks. They make that call.
All right, let's take a break. We're under the red flag for rain once again here at Darlington. Jeff Burton is the leader.
Out here, things are different. Out here, it's the tires that scream. And it's your heart that races. For over 20 years running, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
My breathing got so bad, I can hardly do nothing without getting plumb out of breath. I'd cough so hard at times, pass plumb out. Old Dr. Soul went plumb out of her way to hit me. She made me feel like part of the family. If I hadn't went to the Asthma and Allergy Center when I did, I don't think I'd be sitting here today.
When you can't breathe, nothing else matters. Call us. We can help.
Need a car loan? Have you had bad credit in the past? No problem. At Lane Brothers Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, and Honda, Ivel, Kentucky, we will finance your next vehicle. Bad credit, slow credit, no problem. Whatever problems you've had in the past, at Lane Brothers, you'll have no problem. Call toll-free 1-866-MY-CAR-LOAN for a confidential interview and get fast approval on a car loan today. No problem. Lane Brothers Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, and Honda, Ivel, Kentucky. No problem.
Drama is 75,000 fans that love you. Sitting next to 75,000 fans that hate you.
Drama is winning.
Drama is finishing second.
Drama is driving through smoke.
Drama is Talladega.
Bristol. Daytona. Drama is the name Petty.
Drama, that's winning your first Winston Cup championship.
Drama is winning your second Winston Cup championship.
Drama is winning your fourth Winston Cup championship.
Drama is NASCAR on TNT.
TNT. TNT.
At Midas, we take care of leaks, alignment, brakes. If there's a problem, Midas will help find it. Last week, a guy came in, says his car was making a funny noise. Flying gremlin.
Flying gremlin?
All done. Like I said, if there's a problem, Midas will help find it. Total car care. Midas. We do that.
They don't have lobbyists just in Washington, D.C., you know. We've got one right here in Darlington, South Carolina. His name is Brad Parrott. He's the crew chief of that bright number 9, who's the leader of this 200-miler that is under the red flag. About 100 yards shy of being an official race, and he has been lobbying and lobbying down there.
He's politicking. Were you successful in your politics?
Oh, yeah, I'm politicking with the wrong guys. I need to be in the NASCAR trailer.
Well, then you go over there.
I did. You know, I just made a joke, and I said, you know, they know Darlington weather, and I know it. And I think Burton's won 2 of these in the Cup Series, you know, under rain conditions. And I don't know if they want to make it 3. But, no, again, the game car's been awesome all day. Rain, sunshine, 100-degree weather. We're happy with what we got today.
You have a programming suggestion for us?
Oh, yeah. In about 3 minutes at 6:30, if y'all go off the air, hopefully you'll go off there at 6:30. We'll put Rain Man on. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good to me. And that would mean you would be in Victory Lane, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But I'm not going to say that because that's drama.
Okay, there you go. Very nice plug. Good job, Brad.
Oh, yeah. And if this crew chief thing, he decides he doesn't like that, he can go to D.C. and be a lobbyist. Well, Jeff Burton is sitting inside that race car while they try to dry this racetrack and see if they can't get this thing back underway.
What they ought to do is line them up, drop the flag, and at least let them race back to the line.
All 100 yards?
Yeah. About 8 abreast.
First one back wins? Is that your idea?
We're going to see some drama here one way or another.
Yeah, probably.
Hoots, I know you're a big man. I know you're getting hungry.
Is he talking about Benny?
No, talking about Hoots.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see what Jeff Burton has to say about all this. Hey, Jeff, Benny Parsons, you read me?
Hey, BP, how you doing?
We're doing good. You're just a little short. What's that, about 125, 50 yards?
It looks like 8 miles right now.
How bad is it raining now, Jeff?
It's raining really hard. I saw a boat go by here a minute ago.
I didn't see that. Car looks awfully good.
Yeah, the guy's really done a nice job getting tourists fast. And, you know, I did a stupid thing. I let Spencer get his lap back there. Hope that doesn't go back to haunt us. I'm used to in the Busch series letting guys have their lap back, and then I had my mind, you know, getting to halfway. I thought the race was going to be over when we got that caution, and I just let my guard down. That wasn't a smart move on my part. If you come back and beat us here.
He was running second here in the spring when he lost an engine with just a few laps to go.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it isn't so much of what he did in the spring. It's just you give a guy, you know, it doesn't matter who they are or what they are. You give a guy 4 new tires at Darlington, and you got 50 lappers on, they're going to put a hurting on you. So it just wasn't a smart move on my part. I knew better than that. I just let my guard down for a minute.
Well, it looks like the racetrack is going to be dry when they go back to racing, so that means that once they start the race again, you will make a pit stop and change tires, correct?
If we start again, when they give 1 to go, if it's not raining anymore, we'll pit and put on 4 tires and come back out. When they give 1 to go, we're going to have to make them give 1 to go before we do that. And if it's raining when they give 1 to go, which they've done here before, then it's just, you have to see how brave you are. You might have to stay out even if you don't want to, but we won a Winston Cup race like that here once. They gave 1 to go, give it 1 to go, coming out of 4, and we started on pit road. At the last minute, we did pit because it had started to rain. So you got to keep your eyes open. Things change quick here. This weather can get in here and change pretty fast, but ever since we've been sitting here, it's been raining. I don't see us getting back green again, to be honest, but that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Well, talk to the official there and then give us a report on what he told you.
He told me you need to go on a diet.
Yeah, everybody tells me that, as a matter of fact.
I called him over here because I need to change the shield on my helmet. I can't see. It's so dark out here with this shield that I've got on my helmet. It's hard for me to see, so if we're going to sit here in the red flag for a while, I want him to let me change my shield, but I got a full-face helmet on. He can't understand what I'm saying, so he just thinks I'm yelling at him, but that's why I called him over here.
So you need a clear visor instead of the colored one. I guess he's trying to...
He's lobbying right now, I think.
Yes.
There you go. All right.
It would be hard if you got a dark visor on. You wouldn't be able to see too well.
And that really is a safety issue. I don't know. Again, you aren't supposed to do anything to these cars under a red flag condition, so...
We appreciate Jeff taking the time to talk to us.
Yes, that was very nice.
Of course, he's got some time on his hands right now. Strapped down in the office and waiting to see what's going to happen.
And so do we.
Yeah. What a day. Well, waiting out to see what's going to happen here. There's, I'm sure, a lot of debate in the booth next door to us, NASCAR Race Control, and there's sure a lot of debate going on down on pit road. I'll bet there's a pretty good bit of debate going on in these grandstands, too, with these fans trying to figure out what should or shouldn't happen. How about we take a break? Regroup, come back, and we'll continue to follow the continuing drama at Darlington.
Honey, can you help me clean? They're your parents.
The game's tied.
Tell you what, when you've used up this one sheet of brawny, you can quit cleaning.
Really? Excellent.
Brawny has scrubbing circles for scrubbing strength. And Brawny's tight weave construction means you'll have to stop scrubbing long before Brawny does.
Honey, what kind of paper towel is this?
Brawny, dear.
Brawny, it might be too strong. Try Brawny Premium Napkins. They're softer and stronger than the leading everyday napkin.
In less than an hour, you can be a hero. You can save a life by giving blood.
I knew by my mom's eyes that it was really bad. I was in complete kidney failure. In order to have surgery, I was going to have a blood transfusion. It saved my life. I mean, I wouldn't be here today with my little precious angel here if that hadn't happened.
Make time to save a life. Give blood at the Prestonsburg Donor Center.
We call it Save a Lot because you will. Up to 40% guaranteed, but there's no sacrifice of quality or taste. In fact, we're so sure Save a Lot's exclusive brands taste just as good as other brands, we've got a 100% money-back guarantee. Check out these specials. 34.5-ounce McDaniel coffee, $2.99. 6-ounce portside tuna, 39 cents. 16-ounce fairground bologna, salami, or spiced luncheon meat, 99 cents. 2-pound potato puffs, 99 cents. Great food, great prices, and a money-back guarantee. You get a lot at Save a Lot.
16 countries want the title. Only one will take it home. See the United States best battle the rest of the world in the 2002 World Basketball Championship. The drama continues tonight at 9 when the U.S. takes on China, only on TNT.
Scully?
Come into Burger King now for a great tasting deal. For a limited time, get 2 big King Supreme sandwiches for just $2. 37% more beef than a Big Mac. The tasty flame-broiled King Supreme. You got it.
Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection in a wipe.
The drama continues here at Darlington as we wait to see whether we'll be able to get this race past halfway and to an official conclusion tonight, or if it's going to take another day and a half to make that happen. We'll see. Jeff Burton leads, and he is about 100 yards shy of the start-finish line and the halfway mark of this race, and it's raining, and the field is stopped under the red flag. Here's our race recap. We were delayed originally an hour and a half by rain. The NASCAR Busch Series drivers starting with no practice after rain washed off qualifying yesterday. We finally got the green flag. And it was Greg Biffle who led the opening laps. Lap number 18, Dan Pardes found trouble. He was bumped in the back by Mike Harmon. Did a little half spin down inside 3 and 4. Continued away without further damage. And we had caution for Kerry Earnhardt and Ricky Hendrick getting tangled up also in turn number 4. Both drivers have continued. Jeff Burton started back in 33rd, pushed his way to the front continually. His crew got him some help on pit road. Then he took the lead. Well, I shouldn't say the only lead change in the race. That was his lead change in the race when he got out in front. Jamie McMurray hit the wall off turn 2, then hit the wall again in turn 4. Knocked the fuel pump off his car. He was okay, as you saw. That brought out the yellow flag. Then the rain came while the yellow was out. We're under the red flag now, not quite having got to halfway here at Darlington today. Napa Field summary. Leaders today have been Greg Biffle, Larry Gunselman for a lap, Jimmy Spencer for a lap, then Jimmy Spencer for several laps, then Jeff Green and Jeff Burton. 11 cars out of the race already, a lot of engine trouble, and also some cars unable to keep the minimum speed here today. Big story of the day, though, just rain and more rain.
And NASCAR is doing all they can to try to save this racetrack, to let this race finish tonight. They have the jet drivers out there trying their best to keep it as dry as they can. Hopeful that it will stop raining, they can go back. They can't just run that other 100 yards and
it's a tough
take
call.
Advantage of the fans.
Yeah, they've got a tough call to make. I mean, whatever call they make, some people are going to be happy and some people are going to be mad. But it's a very difficult call.
And the two constituencies in this case are the competitors, most of whom would probably just as soon cross the start-finish line and be done with it and go home and get ready for Richmond. and the fans who paid to get in to see this race, who would probably feel slighted and gypped if they run them under caution to halfway and don't ever, and just call the race there.
Yeah. And there we can see that already the rubber that these cars have ground off the tires, the racetrack has.
And then we all have our personal reasons.
Yeah, I know. You've got a trip you want to go on.
I want to go motorcycle riding next week, and if we race Monday, so much for that.
I hate that for you.
I know you do. You love it.
No, I mean, it's fine. Whatever is. We can't control the weather.
Okay, can I leave then? Either way, you can handle it without me Monday?
I'm not the boss. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Might be more fun to see you squirm for a little while.
Nah, I'm already over it, believe me.
Okay. Yeah, well, for now, the fans are still in their seats. The drivers are still in their cars. And the jet dryers are still on the racetrack.
And we can see with the jet dryers, see those fans plugging their ears as the jet dryers go by. There you go.
Little ear protection doesn't hurt. It's one of the great things about this racetrack. You could sit right down on top of the action.
Or the jet dryers, whichever the case may be.
That's action. That is the action right now.
That is our action.
Yeah. Well, regardless of what the outcome of today is, tomorrow we've got the 53rd running of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 for you here on TNT. Coverage begins with Discover Car Countdown to Green at 12:30 Eastern Time from the old Lady in Black Darlington Raceway here in South Carolina. Winston Cup qualifying washed out yesterday, so the field lined up according to the rule book procedures. Top 35 in owner points is Sterling Marlin, and Mark Martin will share the front row for tomorrow's race as we take a look at the starting lineup.
And we see Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Rusty Wallace. That's the top 6 cars.
Bill Elliott, former Southern 500 winner.
Kurt Busch has got to start in the back.
Yep, lost an engine
Lost an
at the hour today.
Had a good car, too.
Yeah.
Has a good car.
Jeff Burton, the Rain Man. Going to come from row number 7, and there's Bobby Labonte, also a former Southern 500 winner. He'll start back in row 9.
Back in row 10, Terry Labonte, Jeff Green, Blaney, Robbie Gordon, and Jimmy Spencer, that 41 car who got his lap back here in the NASCAR Busch Series race.
Ward Burton, last year's winner, started 37th last year. He's going to get to come from a little farther forward than that this time to try and defend his title.
And Jeremy Mayfield back in 29th runs so well at this racetrack.
Steve Park made his return after the crash here a year ago. And going to start from row 18. Remember, he led the race here in the spring until he was involved in an accident.
Mike Wallace, the 14 car, had a terrific run at Bristol, finished 10th, lead lap.
And was pretty good in final practice, too. Wasn't he up there about 12th fastest?
I think he was. Yep. You saw Kenny Wallace in the 23 car. He has taken over that 23 Bill Davis car, Hills Brothers car, for the rest of the year, I'm told.
And 2 more years.
And 2 more years.
Yep. Announcing that Kenny and the Stacker 2 sponsorship will move to that team for 2003, and then Bill Davis and Hutt agreeing that things just kind of weren't going the way they wanted them to, and so they would split up and give Kenny the chance to get a head start on that. And then Kenny went and got his release from the contract he was under to Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. And after all the paperwork got exchanged, they're all good to go.
There you see, those are basically jet engines that they have installed on the back of these pickups with the exhaust coming out to direct it toward the racetrack, and they do a terrific job drying a damp racetrack.
You know, one of the things about the spread in the base of NASCAR drivers, not all being from the Southeast predominantly anymore, is that some of them don't have as much appreciation for the lore of the Southern 500 when they come in here because they didn't grow up in this neck of the woods. But 2 guys who have a lot of appreciation for this racetrack are the Burton boys. And both Jeff and Ward have had their share of success here at this racetrack. In fact, it was a year ago that they both wound up in victory lane on this Southern 500 weekend. Jeff took the win in the Busch Series race on Saturday in that familiar now number 9 car. And then on Sunday, his brother came from 37th starting spot, took the checkered flag in the Southern 500. And about, 15 minutes after the checkered flag in the Victory Donuts, the skies opened up and it poured here in a big way. But the Burtons really know what it means to win at Darlington Raceway.
Well, as children, they came here with a father, as spectators to the Southern 500. That's what every fan that was interested in motorsports wanted to do, was come to Darlington. I mean, I grew up in North Carolina, and I've heard of this all my life.
Yeah. A lot of the sport's early history was written right here at this mile and a third. And we'll see the next chapter tomorrow in the 53rd Southern 500. Wally, you didn't grow up in the Southeast, so when you first started coming to Darlington, did you really have an appreciation for what this race means to the sport's history?
I really didn't. I really didn't know much about it. Of course, you've heard of Darlington, but being brought up around the Indy cars and that type of racing, I really didn't have the appreciation like Benny's talking about that you would if you were brought up around stock car racing.
But you gained it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially the first time I ran here.
Yeah, realized how hard it was.
A lot of appreciation for this place.
All right, let's check down on pit road. Marty? I'm sorry, Dave.
That's all right, Alan. We'll sit here and talk with Steve Addington for just a minute. If this red flag is lifted and we go back racing, you're going to have to make a decision because I believe your car's going to need some tires at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, us and everybody behind us there. I think a couple of them came down and got tires. I mean, we're going to have to see what this weather looks like if they get it started back and make a decision right then. I mean, we're going to wait till the last minute.
I mean, you could gamble and stay out there, but then it's possible that you get caught out there.
Yeah, that's what we don't want to do, but we also don't want to come in and then their bottom fall out. You know what I mean? I think everybody's ready to go home at this point, but we'll do whatever NASCAR thinks. I mean, I think we got a great race car. The Albertsons Ford is good. It's best in class right now. That 9 car is pretty stout right now.
Yeah, Jason radioed into him during all this discussion and said he was pretty happy with the car. They did a great job preparing it. Marty?
Jeff Green sits in third. His crew chief, Butch Hilton, is communicating via radio to him. And now, would it be fair if it did rain, if they put the yellow back out and just finish this thing?
I'd sure like to see him finish it, but...
Even though you're in third?
Yeah, I'll take a third here. Jeff's really, really good. Jason and the 60 are about the same, so I don't know. I'd kind of like to run to see if we could win, but I'd also like to get my guys home. They're pretty wore out. It's been a long day.
And for you guys, it has been a good day, but it would be tough to keep everybody here till Monday, maybe even.
Yeah, it would definitely put a little bit of hardship on us, but we want to do the right thing for the fans for sure. But I don't know. It'd be nice to be done with this tonight, that's for sure.
But if they do put the yellow back out and maybe we do get back racing, you still have to come down and pit. How's the car been?
Yeah, we're a little bit loose off after we get going a little bit. Can't really use the throttle like he wants to, so we're going to make a pretty good size adjustment here if we do get to. And if the caution comes back out, we go back out running again. We're going to come down and get 4 more tires, and hopefully we'll have a little more for Jeff there.
Well, Matt, even the third place guy wouldn't mind seeing this thing called here in just a few minutes. Matt?
Well, Marty, right now, point leader Greg Biffle sits back in fourth, and Cowboy Kevin Starlin and crew chief Randy Goss, you guys have been talking it over. First off, you told me something interesting today, that you're from Michigan. You know how the weather's changing, and you wish you could put a guy on about 10 miles in each direction here, and you didn't do it.
No, I don't know how to get that done, but I don't know how to predict the weather either. Granger guys have done a great job since we've been here, and NASCAR is doing a pretty good job of trying to get it in. I'm not sure what's going on.
Being political.
We're ready to go home, and we think we've led the most laps, but we're not sure. We're going to go check it out, and hopefully with, Keller being second, if the race was to end now, it'd be a wash for the points for us, but we'll just have to wait and see. We might have to go back racing here.
You have led the most laps by 2, but you told me it's an interesting dilemma now. What do you do now if we go back under the yellow conditions?
I'm not sure. I mean, that would say to me that NASCAR is trying to finish the race and we come for tires when we needed them, but then it could rain then too, so you don't know what to do.
Well, right now they entered Darlington on a great momentum ride. Last 12 races, 10 top 3 finishes, but right now they could spoil that today. Right now they're running 4th.
We continue to wait it out. See what's going to happen. Are we going to go racing again? Will we be here Monday? Will the thing end today? Stay with us. We'll be back.
And what did you do this weekend?
I called this girl, but the line was busy.
Gary? Matt?
I went to Wendy's.
for lunch? Well, I see the hamburgers on TV and they look good. I ordered a classic double with cheese. Call me crazy, but I think they made it just for me. Hot, juicy, it tasted great. And when I finished, I felt good. And I liked that feeling.
Bravo.
Sure. Wendy's Classic Double with cheese. And now Wendy's pickup windows open late so you can eat great even late.
It's going to be a hot night. Give it up, give it up.
Can't handle it. Be sure to tune in to the 2002 MTV Video Music Awards live from Radio City Music Hall August 29th at 8 p.m. 7 Central, only on MTV.
Rock stars they are, and God bless them for that.
Your local Ford store is leading the way with the best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs. Come on and drive the difference. Ford Focus, with the most interior room in its class, plus superior handling, was named one of Car and Driver's 10 best and comes in 4 distinct models. Focus, the best-selling car in the world, now with $2,000 cash back. That's $2,000 cash. Drive the difference. Ford Focus with $2,000 cash back, only at your local Ford store. Still leading the way.
I love NASCAR.
Ooh, I wonder who's going to win. That's sort of the point, isn't it, Mo?
No, I mean our when your car wins, you win sweepstakes.
Oh, right.
Some lucky fan is going to win a 3-race NASCAR Tour package for 2.
Get your game pieces at Pep Boy stores and watch the races between now and September 7th to see if you win.
It's like you're in the race with your favorite driver.
So when my car wins, I win.
Mo, you're not eligible.
Hey, but
everyone else can get their game pieces at Pep Boys today.
Pep Boys, we're car people. And big NASCAR fans.
Hey, Kenny, thanks for setting up this workout with the WWE Superstars.
Yeah, suggesting they help us toughen up for the next race was a great idea.
Did I say toughen up? I meant tough enough.
Actually, Kenny, we meant tough enough, too.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to like this.
If he gets tired, he's got plenty of Stacker 2 inside his car.
That's great, because Stacker 2 really does give you an extra boost of energy.
And it helps burn fat and crush cravings.
Stacker 2, it's the world's strongest fat burner.
Rusty, help!
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tenacan still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
The drama of basketball returns to TNT tonight, 9 Eastern time. Reggie Miller and Team USA take on China in the World Championships live from Indianapolis. Tonight, 9 Eastern here on TNT.
And you get to see the Houston Rockets' #1 draft choice.
Yep.
7'5"
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, the Chinaman.
Yep. See what happens. That's later tonight from Indianapolis. Another great racing city. Darlington, South Carolina. The story is we're teetering on the edge. The weather radar says we got some ugly stuff coming, but some of the spotters out around the racetrack say that what's out there is actually lightening up a little bit. So we'll see. They're making a game effort anyway.
Oh, they're making a very valiant effort trying to get this racetrack dry so we continue this race.
I hate to think of what the jet fuel bill is going to be today for these track dryers. And they started with them at 6:30 this morning to get the track dry for the Winston Cup practice sessions, and then they've had to do it again twice during the Busch Series race.
These are the spotters that, or the drivers that follow their progress around the racetrack and try to warn them of trouble in front of them and cars trying to pass them. And
yep.
And some of them have raincoats and some of them have garbage bags. That one has a garbage bag.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Tomorrow this place will be just about full for the 53rd Southern 500. Coverage beginning at 12:30 Eastern time here on TNT. And boy, it should be a great race. You know, BP, I know you've had the thrill of winning here at this racetrack, but I remember the first time I came here, I'd heard all the stories about Darlington, but the first time I came here, I walked down in one of the corners of the infield and watched you guys come blasting through the turns at speed, and I could not figure out how you could do it. It so fascinated me, the shape of this racetrack and how you could carry the speed you carried through these corners.
It really is amazing. And today, the racetrack is really a little bit easier today than it was back in the 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, because they used to seal this racetrack. And the drivers all called it bear grease.
Yep.
And when you first went out there and we used to come here on Tuesday to practice, it was so slick. And finally, by about midway of the race on Sunday, you had a groove. By mid-race Sunday, you had a groove. And when you tried to pass a car, a lapped car, and you got out of the groove, bam, you're in the wall. It was so brutal trying to get around this racetrack. But again, the people here at the racetrack used the sealer rather than repaving it. Every year they sealed it, number one. That assured them of action. They're going to see some wrecks.
Oh, yeah.
And secondly, they didn't have to pave the racetrack, which was very expensive.
Yeah. But what a great place it is to watch a NASCAR Winston Cup race. I still, to this day, remain amazed watching the action off of turn 2 and around the center of that corner, and how these guys can negotiate these kind of speeds on a track designed for about half that rate and succeed at it and take a trophy home from here. It's an amazing place. Got a great museum out in front that the National Motorsport Press Association maintains. Some of the old history of the sport and some of the greats of all time enshrined in there. Matter of fact, there's an induction ceremony later on tonight that you're supposed to be a part of, Mr. Hall of Famer.
And, you know, every person that's inducted tonight has never driven a lap.
Yeah.
Leonard Wood, Bud Moore, Ed Otto, one of the first promoters in NASCAR back in the 40s. And there's one more, Dale Inman. Dale Inman,
yeah.
Richard Petty's longtime crew chief.
And we'll show you a little bit of that tomorrow during our coverage of the Southern 500, the induction ceremony tonight for the Hall of Fame here in Darlington. We've seen that sight just way too much today. That red flag. And still they hold Jeff Burton's car shy of that start-finish line. We're still waiting it out here in Darlington. Got all the fingers and toes crossed.
What's up, dude?
You've stolen the drink of the gods. Now suffer my wrath. As punishment, you must hand over your winged sandals.
I don't need these ancient Greek sneakers anyway. I found something better.
Better than the divine ambrosia?
Yeah, it's Red Bull.
Red Bull, a new drink of the gods?
No, it's a new cold drink on Earth. It's more fun down there anyway.
And how do you plan to get back without your winged sandals?
With Red Bull. It gives you wings.
Hey, race fans, you could win a chance to be Kenny Wallace's crew chief. The more collect calls you make with 1-800-CALL-ATT, the more chances you have to enter to win a racing weekend with Kenny Wallace.
Hey, Ken, you know, you've got some new tires on there. What are those, P60s?
Your Call ATT racing weekend starts in Atlanta, where you'll get stock car driving lessons from Kenny Wallace. From there, you'll stay in a luxury motor coach during the EA Sports 500 in Talladega. Just dial down the center with 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Good luck, Tommy.
I love you, Kenny.
The most dramatic series on television takes over TNT. The Law & Order Marathon. See an entire day of episodes back-to-back.
The sentence of this jury.
Cable television's exclusive destination for Law & Order is now TNT.
You're in contempt, Mr. McCoy. It's for the jury to see justice done.
It all starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. only on TNT. We know drama.
Out here, your boss doesn't own you.
Oh, don't you worry.
Your bank doesn't own you.
You'll find yourself.
Out here, nobody owns you.
Follow your heart.
But you.
And nothing else.
Head for the mountains of Busch.
At times like this, I think how lucky I am to be a NASCAR Winston Cup driver, and how fortunate I am to have a great sponsor like Napa Auto Parts, because Napa understands quality and value, and the importance of having a friendly, knowledgeable staff. And it's at times like this, looking around at the empty grandstands and listening to the silence of pit road, that I realize
I'm at the wrong track.
Back at Darlington Raceway, they've got the jet dryers out on the track. They're trying to get this thing in raceable condition. We have fought the weather all day long here, actually all weekend long. I saw in the weather this morning before I came out to the racetrack. In the last 42 hours, Darlington, South Carolina had over 3 inches of rain.
Well, they need it.
I know it's good for the crops, but problem is the crops were all due in August. And this is the end of August. Marty, where are you?
I'm in Victory Lane, Alan. I'm in the makeshift Victory Lane, and we're hoping this gets used today. I hope I'm not the only one who is in this Victory Lane today, and it's underneath the Winston Cup garage area. The photographers are here. The lights are set up. Everybody's ready. They're just kind of waiting for Jeff Burton to come in here. Now, will they pull the red flag, put out the caution flag, and let Jeff Burton go another 200 yards? That is the million-dollar question. You guys got a read on that yet?
Well, you should if the NASCAR guys start filling up Victory Lane there.
Well, what, the NASCAR guys? There's none here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
They're all out on pit road trying to decide whether or not we're going to go back to green, Wally.
I'll tell you this, Marty, about the only read we've got right now is looking at the old weather rock out the window.
How's it look?
Damp.
Ah, that's not good.
The weather rock looks damp.
And Jeff Burton just said on his radio it's starting to rain a little bit more.
Yeah.
So.
Dave, what do you got?
I've got Steve Plattenberger. He is the crew chief for Stacy Compton, and they played their card already. They pitted when this caution came out, but you discovered something else, Steve, didn't you, when you pitted?
Yeah, Stacy's been doing a good job, and the Kingsford Johnsonville Chevrolet started getting loose, and luckily we found out it had a right rear tire going down. I only had 8 pounds of air in it, and if it comes back, we get started racing, we'll be sitting pretty good, but if it don't, we'll finish 22nd. I had to make that call to pit, and that's what we did.
Now, why did you make that call to pit, Steve? You obviously could have stayed out with everybody else.
Well, I figured that if it went back, it wasn't halfway. If it went back green, all the guys in front would have to pit, and we'd be in the top 5 if they started back. And as good as the car was before it started getting loose, I figured we'd be in pretty good shape.
All right, well, we'll see if they are, because like you said, on the weather rock still says damp. So right now, their car doesn't play real well yet.
Yeah, and the weather radar
front and center, buddy,
says it's going to be damp too. Right now you see that Jeff Burton and the rest of the drivers are still sitting in their cars, and they continue to work this track. But looking at the window of our booth here, there are things hitting it that are wet in nature, and that's not good. Darkness starting to close in. It's a tough spot. You know, I'm glad I'm not the one that has to make that decision about this race. Oh, hi, Mike.
Yes.
Mike Helton, the president of NASCAR here. You really are in a tough spot, Mike. You're 100 yards shy of an official race, and you got the fans and the competitors and the whole thing to juggle. What are you thinking?
Well, technically, we've completed halfway of the advertised distance, which the rule book says. We just stopped it hoping that we could do the 75th lap under green. And may still, but it's looking a little bleak right now because of darkness and everything else. So if we get the track dry and raceable again, we'll go back to green. But if we can't, for the circumstances that are surrounding us, it'll be a race. I mean, it's an official race at this point. By the rule book, we've completed half the advertised distance. So we'd like to do it differently. The day's just not been a very cooperative day weather-wise, but had we had the chance to run the entire 147 laps, certainly that's the way we prefer to do things. And the circumstances today is not going to let us do that.
And just trying to balance out your desire to run the full distance for the fans who came here and paid their money against all the other logistical issues.
Yeah, and if we were not able to get to halfway today or not get any of the race in, we would have had to be back here Monday.
Yeah.
Racing, which nobody likes the idea of doing that, but that's the way it works sometimes in a sport that depends on a completely dry playing field.
Mike, as far as the competitors go, I mean, the 9 car is clearly the class of the field. So if he wins, it's really fair. And Biffle and Keller, as far as the Busch Series Championship, it's a wash as far as they're concerned. So no one gets hurt there. The only guys get hurt are the fellows that made a pit stop, say, on just before this red flag.
Yeah, and I remind everybody that the caution came out because of a blown engine. It didn't come out because of the rain, and as we were progressing toward going back to green, then the weather became an issue. So we were faced with getting ready to go back to green, and then all of a sudden the track turned on us to where we couldn't. And that's why we stopped where we stopped, and instead of keeping them running under caution the way they were, thinking that we could go back to green, and may still be able to, but I got to tell you, the more time that goes by, the less the likelihood because of darkness and some other strong inclement weather that looks to be coming this way. So we'll do all we can to get it done, but those are our options at this point.
Most importantly, Thanks for the shrimp. They're really good.
It has been a long day.
Yeah. When Mike came walking over, he bought a bowl of shrimp with him, too. We appreciate your thinking of us. But bottom line is that if we're not able to get this thing going again today, this will be called an official race.
Yeah, we're through today. Hopefully we can complete more laps and make more of a race to the designated or the advertised distance of 147 laps. But if something and the weather prevents us from doing that, then we consider this a race that's completed.
Well, I'll tell you what, from what our pit guys are telling us, we're going to get you back to your booth next door because it's starting to rain harder. You may have a decision to make real soon.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, Mike, thanks. Mike Helton, president of NASCAR. So there's the news. If we're not able to get any more laps run under the green flag today, this will be an official race.
Good. I like that call.
And I'm going to tell you what, the weather radar looks ugly too. There's some heavier stuff moving this way than even we've had so far today.
Here's my radar.
There it is.
As you can see, the storm coming from the south, moving north. Heavy storm.
Yeah.
Yep. It looks like it is going to rain even harder than it has, and
hopefully it'll get done with tonight.
Dave?
Oh, I have something for you guys because this is what this day has been all about, right? One for Wally, one for Benny, one for Alan. Actually, we should get a few packs up there for Mike Helton right now with the decision he's got to make, right?
You're right,
no kidding. And just to back up over Mike's comments there a minute ago, the rule book says that once a race has completed half of its advertised distance, it is an official race. With the cars 100 yards shy of lap 74, they've completed, technically, they have completed more than half the distance. The distance would be here 73.5 laps if you went half the distance.
And you know what, Alan, you should have caught that. They kind of pulled one over on you there.
Well, you know, I've never actually...
That's a new one for the books there.
Yeah, I've never actually seen a race that's come within 100 yards of that one lap past halfway thing. So,
but, I mean, as good as you are in math and everything, I just really thought that you would have pulled that off.
Okay. Well, there's a great debate going on here as to what we're doing next, so we'll continue to talk. Thank you for backing me up, Wall. I appreciate that. I don't have shrimp.
Well, you weren't responding, and it was just too easy. So.
Producer was talking in my other ear here. We're trying to make a plan, okay? And I appreciate being abused while I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm supposed to do next.
Anytime.
That's just
what I'm here for.
Just what I can count on you for. Okay. BP, you ever win a rain-shortened race?
No, I never did.
Really?
I never did.
You?
I won a race in the rain, a couple of them, road races.
Yeah. Okay.
And a couple of times I had a pretty good car. I mean, in Martinsville one time, I remember I had a really good race car, and through a series of goof-ups, I go from a half lap ahead to a half lap behind on the caution flag, and before I could get caught back up and get the lead back, it rained. They called the race off, and when I left the racetrack an hour and a half later, it was the most beautiful day you've ever seen in your life.
Who won that race?
Gail Yarborough.
Really? All right, that's how they stand. We'll take a break. We'll come back to Darlington and find out what's going to happen next.
From the minds that brought you the Hayabusa and GSXR sport bikes comes the all-new Quad Sport Z400. Is it still showing off if no one's around to see you?
Riblets. Applebee's has riblets. All that you can eat now, riblets.
Hurry into Applebee's, because even though the riblets never end, this offer does.
Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection in a wipe.
Follow the action all weekend. Just log on to America Online and go to NASCAR.com. America Online, keyword NASCAR.
Drama is a checkered flag.
On a good day, it's a sigh of relief. On a bad day, it's we need to do better next time.
How I feel when I see the checker flag, it depends on when I see it.
Well, if you see it before anybody else, that makes you feel good.
As long as I'm in front, that's incredible. When you're flat wore out, you've had a bad car all day long, it's also good so you can get out of there.
You finally make it to the end of the race, and you're just relieved, to tell you the truth.
It's exhilarating knowing that you beat 42 of the best drivers out there in the world, and you came home first.
Attention! All set for maneuvers, men. Wilson, you take charge of the artillery, Metcalf the infantry, and you, Dudley, are the enemy aircraft.
But, Sergeant, sir, I'm not a pilot. I don't even have a license.
What? Dudley, refusing to obey orders? When I say fly, you fly.
Yes, sir, Sergeant, sir.
Well, that's more like it. And now, off to the canteen. Operation Red Bull.
Oh, Red Bull. I understand, Sergeant, sir.
About time, Dudley. And the password?
Sir,
the password. Red Bull gives you wings.
My dad was really good with his hands. Could have been a surgeon if he wanted to. He could hear a car driving by and tell you whether it needed a tune-up or if the brakes were starting to go. Doctors and lawyers would stop at his garage asking for professional advice. And after school, he'd let me watch him work his magic on cars. More than anyone, he taught me how to earn my customers' trust. Like Dad, I'm proud to be a professional auto technician and proud of the work we do.
CarQuest, the professional choice.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing on TNT is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them. By Wendy's late-night pickup window, where you can eat great even late. And by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running. Still waiting out to see what's going to happen. They're trying to get this thing dry, but I don't know how much progress they're making at this point, and we may be nearing a decision point on today's Gatorade 200.
You know, guys, looking at the start-finish, I mean, at the front straightaway here, the racetrack is wet.
We've lost the racetrack.
I mean, the racetrack is shot. I mean,
so it's just inevitable.
It's just a matter. I mean, NASCAR is trying so hard, but the fact of the matter is that the racetrack is wet. And I don't see, with it raining out there, I don't see any way in the world that these jet drivers can drive the thing off.
Yeah, wet to the point that they would need too much to happen to get it done before dark.
I mean, if it stopped
to get anything else run before dark.
Exactly. If it stopped right now, they're still going to need 30, 45 minutes to get the track dried off with those jet drivers.
And the brightest thing at this racetrack right now is the scoreboard lights in the center of the infield, I think. Well, maybe the lights down by the temporary victory lane might went out there for a minute. There they are, shining brightly over Darlington Raceway.
And, you know, the worst part about it is that it really hasn't rained that much. It is just simply sprinkled enough to wet the racetrack a couple of times. They've gotten it dry. And right, this last incident, it really is just spit. It hasn't rained. Just enough to get the racetrack wet to where we could not continue.
Well, they continue to talk back and forth between the trackside spotters and those up here in the control tower. And they continue to watch the weather radar and just see what's going to happen. For now, though, the drivers, believe it or not, are still inside those race cars. That's got to be a humid, uncomfortable spot.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, let's try to talk to Jeff again and see what... Jeff Burton, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Yeah, I'm about to go to sleep in here.
Well, I'm sorry to wake you up, man. You've been in that car quite a while now.
These things are not comfortable to sit in, just sitting down. You know, once you get going, they feel pretty good, but I'm not very happy at the moment.
Well, Jeff, I want to tell you something that will cheer you up. If this race does not get restarted, the race is official. The race has gone halfway, and you are the winner if we don't get restarted.
Well, if that's true, that's good news. Seems like we're a lap short to me, but if that's true, then that's all the good news.
Well, as a matter of fact, that's what Mike Helton told just a moment ago, and this race is 147 laps, and so halfway is 73 and a half laps. So on the backstretch, some point in the backstretch, you actually did make it halfway.
I guess that's true. I think I've thought about it like that. But, you know, it's, I don't know, I hope it ends. It's hard for me to believe we'll get this track dry. It looks real wet to me, but you never know.
I was thinking the same thing, that the racetrack looks, it's going to take some time for it to get dry.
It's getting pretty dark. It must be 7:15 or something. It gets, sun goes down, 7:30, 7:45. It looks real dark. The track looks real dark to me, which means it's nowhere near being dry. So, I've seen weirder things happen, but right now I find it hard to believe that we'll get it dry.
All right, we'll keep you abreast of what's going on.
Call me every now and then, man. I'm bored.
Okay, we'll talk to you every once in a while. I'll wake you up anyway.
I imagine he is sitting in there.
And again, if it was a recliner or an easy chair, it would be one thing. But he's sitting in a seat that's designed to hold him tightly in at 160, 70 miles per hour. To crash at 167, it's not very comfortable just sitting there.
Well, I'm waiting to hear that sound stop.
The jet dryers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But well, now see, when the officials are holding umbrellas up there over pit road.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
That's as good as a weather rock.
And the flagman is standing in the flag stand with an umbrella.
And I think Buster is about to take the lead in the pace car. He's run more laps than anyone.
That would be Dennis Dillard, by the way. This is the Busch Series race.
Buster is.
Yeah.
For Cup.
Yep. Well, it's been a most interesting day. It's been an interesting weekend here, as a matter of fact. We sat here yesterday and waited out the rain all day and never got anything done. And today, of everything that's happened this weekend, the Winston Cup guys got their final practice. That's about the only thing that's happened that you could sort of consider normal so far.
They had 2 practices.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was just great from about 9:30 till about 12:30, and then it's been a struggle ever since.
Hard to figure why this racetrack is plagued by rain so much. These races here have been more than average impacted by the weather.
And the amazing thing is that in the southeast, in the last 6 months, it just hasn't rained that much. In August, until the last week, we had about 2 inches of rain, about 1.5 inches below normal. For the year in the southeast, it's been about almost 10 inches of rain below normal. A severe drought going on, and so maybe we've done something to help this severe drought situation. Dave, is it still raining? Look on the rock.
Benny, well, I'm looking at the shells down here in the... Oh, wait, there are no shells. It is still raining down here. As the activity down here gets to be guys cleaning up, they know one way or the other they're probably not going to complete this tonight at this point. But the activity, as it is busy over here, right here is waiting all the activity for tomorrow morning. These are the crash carts and the pit carts that the crews from the Winston Cup Series will use tomorrow for the Mountain Dew Southern 500. They sit here tomorrow morning. The crews will start swarming over this way, pull all these carts over, set up their pits just the way the Busch guys did today. But for now, they sit collecting moisture.
Okay, we are getting the word. This is going to be it for the night.
Well, I mean, we see the jet dryer going down, and sure, where it goes, there's a dry spot, but all around it, it is wet. There is no other choice but to, at this point, to call this baby off.
Darkness is coming, and the weather's not going to let off. And in fact, there's some more heavy weather coming in behind it if you look at the radar. So it looks like we've had all we're going to have today here at Darlington, and they're going to bring the field around and lead them back into the garage, and the race is going to be over. And that's going to be it. So a valiant try today, but the weather is going to win out in the end, and Jeff Burton's going to get a W.
Yes, he is.
3rd straight Darlington win it's going to be for Jeff Burton. How about that? 4th win in 20 Busch Series races here, and his 3rd win of the season in 9 tries.
All right, here comes Dennis Dillard, the pace car driver, and I guess they'll fire him up, and he'll lead him across the line, and
hope they got a good starter in that 9 car.
All right, they're passing instructions around back and forth and so on. They're just going to fire the cars up. The pace car is going to lead them under the checkered flag, and this race will be over.
Jimmy Spencer, he's just going on back in there.
Yeah, he's
Spencer, wait a minute, where are you going?
He knows it's over. He's got. Yeah. So Jeff Burton wins the Darlington 100 today. Jason Keller's going to finish second, Jeff Green third, Greg Biffle fourth, and Jack Sprague fifth. Then it's going to be Bobby Hamilton Jr., Scott Wimmer, Mike McLaughlin, Tony Raines, and Scott Riggs will be the top 10 at the checkers. Here they come.
Well, at least the 9 car started. Looks like they all started so far.
Caution and checkered flags. And Jeff Burton wins the Gatorade 200 at Darlington, his third straight Busch Series win at this track.
All right, Jeff Burton, congratulations.
That feels good. It's a great car. That pit stop was pretty big. You know, they came in 12, went out 7th, and that's what...
All right, get those guys pumped up for that 13-second stop at Richmond next Friday.
So, and that makes the kids at the new children's hospital a little money. That's awesome. They did a great job today.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Jeff Burton with the water running up his windshield, trying to head back around to the makeshift victory lane here at Darlington. Let's check out how they finished today. Keller and Biffle, pretty much another standoff in points.
See Kenny Wallace, Casey Mears, good run for him. Kevin Grubb, 54 car.
22 on the lead lap. LaJoy and Compton had stopped just before the red flag for tires. Didn't work out in their favor. And a lot of guys out of this race.
See Jamie McMurray in 32nd spot after that fiery crash in turn 2, turn 3, and
it kind of started the whole sequence. Yeah. Championship, it was 78 between the top 2 coming in. How about that? Biffle led the most laps, so it works out to be a draw leaving. Tomorrow on TNT, the Mountain Dew Southern 500 coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with Discover Card Countdown to Green. Jeff Burton will be among those trying to win the oldest of NASCAR super speedway races. And up next, it's the world's most dramatic police chases on TNT. Long day. 7 hours, 20 minutes after we started with the flyovers and the fireworks and all the rest, we get a result. Jeff Burton wins a rain-shortened Gatorade 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series at Darlington. Tomorrow, the 53rd running of the Southern 500. We hope you'll stay with us. We had some fun. In the end, Jamie McMurray didn't. The weatherman won out. Jeff Burton gets the victory here at Darlington today. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the Southern 500, starting at 12:30 Eastern Time. See you then.
This copyrighted telecast